Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick flip through of the Silhouette Tarot. For a review, you can check out Viridian C, link below. This is just going to be a flip through. This has been around for a while. I just haven't had the time to look through it, and I thought, before I shovel this, when the deck is still in order, I thought I'll go through it with you guys. This is the second edition, so there's a whole first edition that's, I think, has since sold out. I can't tell you what the differences are between the first and the second edition, but I can tell you that oh my god, sorry about the noise, it's really noisy outside, windy, and it's raining. Oh, and the wind just sort of go through the fireplace pipe and just rattled around. So the cardstock is matte. It feels really good, matte and waxy, and it has this kind of texturing on the surface. I'll show you another card that's probably will show that texture a lot clearer. It reminds me of the Ellis deck, which is one of my all-time favorite deck, which I will show you if I can just get my act together and unearth the deck amongst all the stuff that I am yet to unpack. I have a plastic edition of the Ellis deck, and it feels like that. It feels exactly like a matte, thick, textured cardstock. You know, it doesn't feel like plastic at all. The edges of this feels a little sharp at the moment, but because I haven't shuffled this, I can't really tell whether it cuts a bit on the skin or not, but I'll try and do that in front of the camera, which is a bit tricky because this is sitting in a couple of tin boxes, tin biscuits, biscuit tins, and a tissue box. So it's not the most stable platform for the iPad here to be perching on. And I have the iPad between myself and my hands, so when I shuffle it, I would be in danger of toppling the iPad over. I think there's a special edition where the images are white, so like the negative edition, I think, or you know, that whole negative positive. From what I heard, you know, the images, I like the simplicity, the color. It reminds me of batik. It reminds me of wax dyed, wax resist dye, I think it's called, the technique of batik, where you apply wax, and then you dip the whole cloth, and then you strip the wax off, and then you apply another layer of wax, and you dip that, and then you strip it again, and then you apply another layer of wax, and then you dip that, and then you strip it again. And you know, this happens for every piece of cloth, all by hand. It's really hard work, you know, batik. I'm talking real batik, not those printed ones. So that's the card, and there is a happy squirrel. The happy squirrel. If you don't know the story of the happy squirrel, it's originated in a Simpson episode about Lisa consulting a fortune teller or a card reader, or you know, whatever, and she pulled out the happy squirrel card, and anyway, it was just, you know, quite a good humor, I thought. So there it is. If you could see the graininess of the texturing of the card, I'm not quite sure if you can see that in with this camera. There is like, see those sort of little markings, like this sort of, like a grain, like it's matte but it's grainy, which is great. I like that, and it feels really quite waxy. And so let's see if we can shuffle this without, yeah, it shuffles really nice, Really nice. I like that. It's a little bit, you know, the edges aren't the smoothest, but it isn't as sharp as there one particular deck, which I shall not name. The one deck of all the decks, and I bought a lot of decks. I do my research, and I've hardly ever been this, you know, that disappointed with a deck. But that deck, when I shoveled it, it really bit on your skin. The image quality was poor, and anyway, let's not talk about that. This good cardstock, I think, very well surfaced. The edges are cut clean. The reason why I comment on cutting edges is because if the edges aren't cut clean, when you shovel like me, and once it's chipped, it's like a window, it's like a glass. Once it's chipped, it'll break. You know, when you shovel it like this, you don't have to shovel very hard. Like I don't shovel very hard or very fast. They'll chip very quickly if it's not cleanly cut. And that usually happens when the printer or the card producer is reluctant to change the knife or the blade or the whatever device they use to cut their cards, because you know every time you change the blade it's extra cost, right? So new blades, new cost, and they usually try to cut as many cardstock as possible before they change their blades. And so by the end of that run, the blade's usually quite blunt, and so you have those unclean edges, and then of course it causes the card to chip really, really fast and really, really badly as well. So that's really good. That's the back. How smooth it is. It's liquid. Yep. That's what comes with it. That you could probably see the grain a lot better there. Like that, yeah, you can see the grain there. There it is again. I hope you can see that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the box, so I'm just going to put it in a different container, a bag, a pouch, or a box or something. That's the Silhouette Tarot. Thanks for watching. Bye.